seeking her in vain.
Singer, comedian, and actress Ann Sothern turned heads with her irresistible good looks and wowed audiences with her ability to deliver sharp dialogue with comedic timing. After making appearances in several critically acclaimed and commercially successful musicals, she transitioned to cinema, appearing in a handful of B-movies at first. While she earned her keep performing in these minor roles and developed a reputation for being a reliable actress, she made her big break when she became a contract player with MGM. In 1939, MGM cast her as Maisie Ravier, a cheeky yet lovable Brooklyn showgirl. That character was based on the short stories by Nell Martin. The first Maisie film proved so popular, it spawned a successful film franchise and a network radio program, The Adventures of Maisie. In the early 50s, she moved into television when she became the star of her own sitcom, Private Secretary. It debuted on CBS in 1953 and ran for 5 seasons. She was nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys. She went on to star in The Ann Sothern Show, which aired for 3 seasons. She provided the voice for Gladys Crabtree in the quirky sitcom My Mother the Car. Unfortunately, in her later years, health issues prevented her from acting as much as she would have liked to. Join Factsverse as we discuss why Ann Sothern required a cane to walk in her final years. Driven from day one. Ann Sothern was born Harriet Arlene Lake in Valley City, North Dakota in 1922. She was the youngest of 3 daughters born to Annette and Walter Lake. Annette was a concert singer while Harriet's father worked in the importing and exporting industry. Harriet and her 2 younger sisters, Marion and Bonnie, grew up in Minneapolis. When she was just 4, her parents separated and later divorced. The next year, she began taking piano lessons. She later attended the McPhail School of Music, where her mother was a piano teacher. Occasionally, she'd accompany her mother on her concert tours. When Harriet was 11, she was already a remarkably accomplished pianist and regularly sang solos in her church's choir. Once she was a teen, she began taking voice lessons while continuing her studies of piano and musical competition. Around this time, she discovered a love for theater when she started appearing in stage productions at Minneapolis Central High School. Born with a knack for leadership, she even took a few stabs at directing shows as well. Before graduating high school in 1926, Harriet entered the annual state-sponsored contest for student composers, winning 3 competitions in a row. After earning her diploma, her mother moved to LA, where she found work as a vocal coach for Warner Brothers. But Harriet moved with her father to Seattle, Washington, where she enrolled at the University of Washington. But she dropped out after a year. Sothern then visited her mother in California, where she was cast in the Warner Brothers revue The Show of Shows. This role led her to land a screen test with MGM, which resulted in her signing a 6-month contract with the studio. This is about the time when she began to appear in minor roles and bit parts in studio films, but she soon grew frustrated with only appearing in small parts. When she met Florence Ziegfeld at a party, she was offered a role in one of his productions. After her contract with MGM expired and they didn't pick up her option, she moved to New York to take Ziegfeld up on his offer. In 1931, Harriet had leading roles in Broadway productions like Everybody's Welcome and America's Sweetheart. After getting her fill of theater life in the Big Apple, she returned back to California to continue pursuing her dream of being a screen actress. She was given the professional name Ann Sothern by Harry Cohn after signing a contract with Columbia Pictures in 1934. Health issues forced her to slow down. Sothern spent the bulk of the next 2 decades appearing in major theatrical releases. Following the success of her popular Maisie film series, she began work on the Maisie radio program. Although Hollywood had been good to her, she never stopped appearing on stage. Not long after filming A Letter of 3 Wives, she contracted hepatitis after getting a tainted serum shot while in England doing a stage production. The disease left her bedridden. Though she was incapable of doing films and plays at this time, she continued to work on her radio show while she recuperated. Sothern later said her illness had restored her faith in God. Her closest friend, Richard Egan's loving guidance, led her to convert to Roman Catholicism in 1952. In 1974, Sothern experienced another health setback when she was injured while appearing in the stock production of Everybody Loves Opal in Jacksonville, Florida. Apparently, a fake tree fell on her back, leaving her with a fractured lumbar vertebra and nerve damage in her legs. Her injuries were so extensive, she needed to be hospitalized several times. While in the hospital, she was put in traction. It's a set of mechanisms used to straighten broken bones and relieve pressure on the skeletal system and spine. Sothern's injuries additionally required her to wear back braces. Since she was someone who was up until that point always seen up and about, working tirelessly, her forced inactivity led her to develop severe depression. If it wasn't for her deep faith as a Catholic, she might not have gotten through this trying chapter of her life. For the remainder of her life and career, she experienced numbness in her extremities and required a cane to walk. Sothern pushed on. In 1974, despite her limited mobility, Sothern traveled to Hong Kong to film the martial arts flick Golden Needles. The following year, she appeared in the action comedy Crazy Mama, appearing on screen alongside Cloris Leachman. For the remainder of the decade, her health issues forced her to cut back on her acting career. Despite this, she continued working sporadically in TV and on stage. Notably, she enjoyed a minor role in the 1978 horror film The Manitou alongside Tony Curtis. After taking a hiatus, she returned to TV in 1985, playing Ma Finney in an adaptation of one of her previous films, A Letter to Three Wives. She made her final film appearance in 1987's The Whales of August. In that movie, she played the neighbor of two elderly sisters played by Bette Davis and Lillian Gish. For that performance, she earned her one and only Academy Award Best Supporting Actress nomination. She retired and relocated to Ketchum, Idaho, where she spent the remainder of her days. On March 15, 2001, Sothern passed away at home at age 92 of heart disease. She was laid to rest at the Ketchum Cemetery. Lucille Ball considered Sothern one of her greatest influences. When Lucille Ball first arrived in Hollywood, she looked to Ann Sothern for inspiration. Sothern was one of the most prominent B-movie actresses in Tinseltown at the time. Ball later said she wanted to follow in Sothern's footsteps. Ann, just like Ball, was a natural redhead. She dyed her hair blonde for roles in screwball comedies. Ball was once quoted as saying she built her entire career on everything Sothern didn't have time to do. In fact, she apparently would hang around the casting office and ask if there was anything Sothern wasn't able to do that month. Ball and Sothern eventually got a chance to appear alongside each other in several episodes of The Lucy Show. Following Sothern's passing, Ball referred to her as the best comedian in the business, bar none. Considering Lucille's reputation, that's quite a lofty compliment. Sothern was also honored with 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, one for her work in motion pictures and the other for her television career. The first is at 1612 Vine Street and the other at 1634 Vine Street. While Ann Sothern might not be the best-known Hollywood star of all time, she clearly made a significant impact in the 60-plus years she was active in the industry. When you have someone like Lucille Ball showering you with praise, you've done something right. She'll be remembered as one of the wittiest comics of her day. She was incredibly gifted and displayed an astounding amount of versatility. Her one and only daughter, Tisha Sterling, whom she had with husband Robert Sterling, went on to follow in her footsteps by becoming an actress. Now it's time to hear from you. Were you a fan of Ann Sothern? What was your favorite film or radio program or stage production or TV show she appeared in? Let us know in the comments section below.